This video is brought to you by Ageless Geeks.
Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka BatBomb82, and today I'll be doing a review of the Masters of the Universe Filmation He-Man and Skeletor 5.5 action figures. Now these are really sweet pieces that I've been dying to get my hands on, and I finally have a chance to review them. So let's take a closer look at them. Alright, so one thing I want to do before I actually open them up, I just want to show off the card art a little more because the packaging on these guys is fantastic. So I got them unpunched, which is pretty nice, but I'm going to open these guys up anyways. But I just love how they decoed this to make it look the vintage card backs and whatnot. As seen on TV, obviously, because these are the Filmation versions, which are based more on the cartoon, which works out pretty good. We got the Super 7 logo down here and whatnot. All this looks really, really nice. I especially love the back of these cards because we got some really cool card art back here. Again, really mimicking those old school packages from the vintage Masters of the Universe lines. And then we got a cross-sell of a bunch of the characters from this line. The upcoming Hero and Eldor. I really want that Hero. It's just a really cool figure. And he has the twist his waist and he swings back with a punch kind of action feature that we get. So that's pretty cool. I just really like how they designed these. They even got the dimple in the bubble right there, just like the vintage action figure, which is insane. So I really dig that a ton. One thing that I will say is that I know a lot of people had issues with is that we wish these were in resealable packages, you know, collector-friendly packages, but they are not. It even says adult collector up here, but you have to actually like rip these packages open in order to get your hands on the figure, you know what I mean? Like things like Boss Fight Studios does with their Bucky O'Hare thing, where you can just slide the card or the bubble back on and you can reseal the figure just perfectly. They didn't do that, and that's really upsetting because these are some things, especially with the beauty of these card backs, I wish I could, you know, maintain those without having to, you know, rip in anything. So, oh well, still very, very cool pieces, and I cannot wait to check them out. And here are both figures out of their packages. And man, it's crazy to think that all these years later, we're getting new 5.5 Masters of the Universe action figures. This is a ton of fun, and I'm so stoked that Super 7 went this route, just coming out with all kinds of awesome things. And these are some must-haves for any Masters fans. I am super proud to have these in the collection, and I cannot wait to check them out with you guys. But before we take a closer look at the figures, let's take a look at their accessories. So both figures do come with a decent amount of accessories. For Skeletor we get his Havoc Staff and his Power Sword. And for He-Man we get his shield and his Power Sword. And in the center we get the two half swords for both figures. So with the accessories out of the way, let's take a closer look at He-Man and Skeletor. Alright guys, now let's take a closer look at He-Man and Skeletor. Very excited to have these in my collection. I've actually had them for quite some time, guys. These have been out for a while. I'm just trying to figure out when to review them. I finally have some time, so here we go. It's really cool getting these figures in because initially these are throwbacks to those old 5.5 toys that we grew up 30 years ago. But these are Filmation style. Now technically these are like the toys that we should have gotten back in the 80s. This is really what they should have been for the most part. So it's actually really cool getting them from Super 7 now so we can enjoy it as older collectors. Again, what we should have gotten in the first place. So very, very cool. So I'm going to take a look at He-Man first. Now I think this came out great. The face sculpt looks fantastic. The hair looks perfect. I love all the musculature. Again, just that really classic 5.5 style. I think works out great. With these more modern figures and whatnot. The harness looks really good with that red iron cross and whatnot. And you can see the more simplified boots and things like that, and the bracers to give it that more animated look and whatnot. It does have more of the classic straps that we've seen on the vintage toy. This does come loose fairly easily. I wish this plastic were a little more softer so it could bend a little better, but it's not. That's a complaint I have. And one of my main complaints too is, and this is more of aesthetics and it's really up to you, the plastic is a little too glossy for my personal taste. That's just for me personally. It's up to you if you're really into that or not, but still they look really, really cool. We do get some weapons here. Then we get the power sword, which is really, really nice, more based on the actual cartoon. I love that a ton. It even has the guard right there. Very, very cool. We do get his shield, which is very nicely done. This whole plate comes off for some reason. I don't know why it does that, but it does, and I don't know if it's meant to do that. I'm not sure why it would, but it's what it does. So he can hold the sword right here, and his gripping hand is a little tricky. It's not as tight as I would like. And then the shield, you slide the fingers into that little section right here, and it's really tight, but you have to push the clip on like that, and it will hold onto the shield like so. And that's very tight, and I worry that the clip right there will strip the paint and whatnot and scratch it up over time. So, but still very, very cool. I like that a ton. As far as articulation goes, you know, these are old school 5.5 figures, so it rotates at the head like so, back and forth, full 360 at the arms, swivel at the waist. But we do get new hip joints right there, instead of those like old rubber bands and whatnot that over time got really loosey-goosey, and a lot of these older figures tend to have trouble standing. These are more like on ball hinges and whatnot, so they do hinge out back and forth and swivel and things like that. So they are a lot more sturdy than that more classic design, and will definitely hold up better over time. And we shouldn't have any of those issues like we do with like vintage figures and whatnot. So armor this guy up, and there you go, and very, very cool. So now I'm going to take a look at my boy Skeletor, which I'm super in love with. I love this guy right here. I love this toy. Again, this is more of like the Skeletor that we should have gotten all those years ago. Again, just more based on the actual cartoon and whatnot. I think he looks great. I love the bright blue here. The skin tone real rich in color. Nice purple armor and whatnot. The skirt piece looks great. Again, in the more rigid plastic than I would like. I wish it was a little more softer and whatnot, but hardness is really old school. Got more simplified boots and whatnot instead of like the clawed feet and whatnot that we've seen with some other toys and what. But the hood looks great. The simple yellow skull, you know, without the green and whatnot and the red and all that kind of stuff. Just a straight up animated Skeletor in the 5-point style, and I absolutely love it. This is very, very cool. We also get weapons with him, so we get his power sword right here. Again, it works very, very nice. We also get his Havoc staff. Now, I love this a ton because that is like a perfect animated version of the Havoc staff. Just looks great with that pink staff like so, and that ram head at the top just looks really, really good. I like that a lot. They did a great job with that. So this can be held in his hand like so, the gripping hand, which is on the right side, so he can hold on to that like so, and that works pretty good. Let me adjust my camera here real quick. That looks nice. And then for the sword, he actually can hold the sword in this more open palm, especially with that guard. So you can just get it in there and wrap it around his fingers, and there you go. And that's a solid looking Skeletor. Just fantastic. Same articulation as He-Man. Again, swivel at the waist right there, which is really nice. You know, one thing I didn't show, which I really do like, both of them technically actually have that punch feature with the spring-loaded waist, just like those vintage toys. That's really, really cool. But what I did notice with my Skeletor here, he doesn't work all that well. I mean, you can still do it, you know what I mean? But it's not as easy flowing like this one is, because when you see He-Man, he kind of springs back and forth a bit, you know what I mean? Skeletor, not so much, just one straight up punch. So either way, it's still pretty cool that we even get that in there. We also get these right here, which are the two half swords, excuse me, of each power sword, which is really nice. And you can, the way they had these little pegs and holes on each of the swords, and you can attach these fairly good. And this actually works better than the original old school version. And you can have them together like that, and then you got a full power sword. When you combine them both, I think that's really awesome and just a really cool attention to detail. Really glad they included that. Having those more animated swords is just very, very awesome. I love that a ton. So overall, I just think it's really cool getting these more old school 5.5 figures done in the Filmation style. Thank you to Super 7. I hope we get a lot more, and we do have a lot more coming in, so I think they're totally awesome, and I think they are definitely a must get. So for a quick size comparison, here they are standing next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool figure, as well as a DCUC Batman figure. And for your Masters comparison, here they are standing next to a vintage Battle Armor He-Man and Battle Armor Skeletor. And for your 5.5 comparison, here they are standing next to a 5.5 Lion-O and Batman figures from Funko. And just for fun, here they are standing next to a little Lego Bat Bomb. So there it is, guys, my review of the Filmation 5.5 He-Man and Skeletor from Super 7. Now overall, these are just really rad fun throwbacks that I've been dying to get my hands on, and it's really cool to think that in this day and age, we're getting old school He-Man toys. How cool is that? Now I do have issues with the plastic. Holding the weapons can be a little weird, and I really wish the packaging was resealable. That's really a drawback with these figures, but they're still awesome, still fun, packed with a ton of bulkiness and awesome colors, and they're overall just old school He-Man toys. That's really cool and enough for me to absolutely love them. Even with their issues, they're still cool, and I think they are definitely a must get. So I give them a rating of 3.5 Bat Bombs out of 5. So please comment, like, and subscribe. Stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.